Get my cardigan. I'm really cold. Alright, well this is very ominous. Oh, we have some... Alright, we've leveled up again. I feel like at this point, I'm not wanting to level up like I have been throughout the game, because we might run into something really important, and if we don't have enough points, I want to save it. You know what I mean? So we're going to save it. Maybe we do conceptualization again. But I don't, like I said, I don't want to get stuck not being able to do something because we don't have enough points. $48. Ooh, there is still some fuel. Okay. The metal looks decades old. The logo of the automotive manufacturer Lum has faded on the side. Okay. Yeah, find the murder weapon. Hopefully we can find it here. So this is the sniper's nest. Oh. There's really nothing else to look at here. Maybe more will open up now.
This looks like a good place to wait.
No, okay. This is very interesting. Very, very interesting. Alright, lucky we came up here. I didn't even know we could get up here. Ooh. Your eyes, you feel eyes on your back. Someone's watching, but you can't say where. Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's go back here, see if anything else, because we might be more sensitive now that we know that the killer is here, you know. We might notice some more stuff. Please, I selected the door. Come on. Thank you. Yes. A scarf. Oh, +2 empathy. So we're gonna have to give up our pin. Oh, yeah. Alright, let's do it. Maybe volition. Maybe we need volition. Yeah, let's keep that because we're quite high in empathy, but not in volition. Yeah. Small white flowers blossom all around you. Oh, bellflowers. A rubber dinghy. It's deflated, broken. Dingy? Dingy? Oh, hello. Are you the fireman? Let's see if we can see anything else. No. I want to just look around the immediate area, but yeah, alright, let's talk to him.
An old man wearing tracksuit trousers leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth, then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours. He's practically tearing up from spite. Hatred got the best of him a long time ago. This man hates everything.
Are you the fire guy? Did you close the blast door? Nice gun you got there. Sir, I need you to put down that gun so we can talk further. We're with the police. I'm with the police. You can keep the gun, but keep it down. Sorry for disturbing you. Goodbye. Sir, I need you to put down the gun so we can talk further.
The lieutenant pulls his pistol from the holster.
You are a glorified night watchman. This is a service rifle. I can only lay it down before an enemy commander of corresponding rank.
Alrighty, awesome. Alright. I am an enemy commander of rank. Put it down. Okay, but keep the gun down while we talk. Kim, I am an enemy commander of rank.
The words, I am an enemy commander, sound cold as iron from your lungs. The old man still hugs his gun.
You know, we're in our cop, you know, like no chatting. I see a man with a gun, put your gun down before we can speak.
And what rank would that be, dog?
Lieutenant, you freighter. You Lieutenant Double, you freighter, excuse me.
The big wheel of the 4th Regiment of the Pederast Army. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway. It's out of bullets.
The old man lays the rifle down carelessly, then stares at it, just laying there.
He stares on, his wrinkled mouth moving without a sound. A strange sadness, like a song.
What did you say? Let it be. What did you say?
The future teaches you to be alone.
The present.
The present? Let him say it.
The present to be afraid and cold.
The old man pulls back the hood of his plastic cape and looks up into the sky. It's blue-grey, the same colour as the sea. Those words, the future teaches you, pick up the gun laying on the sand.
His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. Frame stocked and patched in places with tape and wire. Still warm from his parched hands. Not the metal. The metal is ice cold. This weapon has been modified several times.
Inspect it closer.
The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm, made of walnut. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangon, 4.46mm, made in Sinyao.
This is a Triangon made in Histyao. This uses jacketed ammunition 4.46. The rifle has been patched and modified several times. Yeah, this uses jacketed.
The right type and the right calibre.
The lieutenant nods, glancing at the gun.
He's liking this.
The rifle has been patched and modified several times.
I wonder how old it is.
The old man does not answer. He just stares in front of him.
This is a Triangon.
No one said it has to be a Belmagrave. We were just guessing.
The lieutenant does not take his eyes off the old man. Yes.
From ballistics, it could easily have been a Triangon too.
It doesn't matter if it was made in Shanti Shanti. All it has to do is use jacketed ammunition. And it does.
Stow the gun.
The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. His right arm twitches suddenly. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It could be used against him to get a confession in time.
Those words, the future teaches you.
Real music. It's La Revacholière, you shit-licking bougie dog. Chanson de soldat of the black and whites.
You need to address that remark.
I'm not a shit-licking bougie dog. I'm a half-dead police officer who's just doing his job. What is La Revachol?
It is the anthem of the world revolution. One of 3.
His eyes remain fixed on the sky.
In Grad, they sang Brave Children, favorites of history. And in Sinyao, it was some Samaran shit, I guess.
How does it go, the song?
How did it go?
He looks at his gun in your hand and shakes his head slowly.
Something about shooting rabbits. I don't know. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. It's gone now.
Who are you?
My name is Josef Lilianovich Drost.
Lilianovich.
Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
His eyes turn to the reeds again, dull and dead and dull.
The commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? Your holdover from the...
From the Insular Indian Citizens Militia, the army of the revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in 07, trained in the École de Contrôle Orient. and consigned to emergency defense duties in '08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the Commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
You've been on this island for 43 years? How long have you been? Yeah, 43 years.
No. I've been on other islands, too. I was in Resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was on E48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago.
Alright, you've been hiding here for 43 years. You said you deserted your unit. What is this place, this island? How have you survived all this time? How have you concealed yourself all these years? You said this is your termless surrender. So you're a communist soldier from the communist army. Again, you've been hiding here for 43 years.
43 years and 10 months.
That's insane. That's steadfast. That's the length of my entire life.
It's too long. It's not how a human being should live. But I couldn't just forget what I saw.
He just couldn't.
You couldn't give up?
He nods. But he can now.
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
He looks across the water.
Where the afternoon grows late, on Rue de Saint-Ghislain, people walk home. Street lights will soon be lit. Further inland, the streets are alive with workers, men, women, children, street hawks and migrant laborers. The temperature is steady. Alto cumulus clouds form above Precinct 41.
Always waiting.
The old man turns his eyes from the shore and back to you. For what?
For her to return.
Her who?
Girl, child, revolution.
I come here from there, point to the mainland. I can assure you that it's not what the people are planning. I've been there. The city is a tinderbox. It may still happen. I've seen it. Capital is too powerful. The rich are very well organized. Women will always betray you. I come from there. I can assure you it's not what the people are planning.
I am not a fool. I know. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The working class has betrayed mankind. The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore, however hard I try, whatever I do.
What has he done? Perhaps a confession will lighten the load.
What have you done then?
Yes, what? To get things going again? Fan the flame?
The lieutenant steps closer.
There is no flame to fan. There is nothing left of the world, of our dreams.
You said you deserted your unit?
I was just 16 years old. 15 when I volunteered.
Shit.
I had a lapse of faith. And of courage, too.
Lapse of faith?
You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat.
You're
And
15.
thought Mazovian socioeconomics were fallible. For a second, I doubted the irreducible laws of historic materialism. A second is all it took
For what?
for reaction to take hold.
What's reaction? It wasn't reaction, you were just afraid. And when was this exactly? I'm gonna let him speak. What's reaction?
Petty bourgeois terror. It's in all men.
It wasn't reaction, you were just afraid.
It's the same thing. You haven't seen it. Not really. Not naked. It's impossible not to be afraid.
It remains unclear what it is. He makes leaps he doesn't expect you to follow.
And this was when?
The lieutenant instinctively looks to his notebook and does not take it out. But does not take it out.
May the 13th, 08, 44 years ago. The horizon was black with coalition airships. Their petroleum rose to the sky and it looked like it formed the clouds. Storm clouds. When they started shelling, it was dark magic.
Dark magic?
The combined might of international capital. All at once, all the greed and terror in the world tore into Revachol. It lifted streets from the ground and turned houses into ghosts. We were in the flak tower, huddled on the floor. The artillery was 80 kilometers away in Ozon, but I knew the commune would fall. We would all be turned into ash. So I said I was going to the map room.
A terrible shame, still within him. The lobes of his ears are red with it. The shame and smallness of what he became.
You didn't go to the map room?
No. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland, in the bunkers there, like the weakest of the weak. A mouse, frightened at the ordnance all night, and the sound of the rotors in the morning, whirring.
What was that?
Airships. I climbed out into hell. The landing was complete. The chain was submerged. I had to swim back. The fortress was half submerged too, shattered. They'd all drowned in the lower levels, or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. So had I. I left them without ideological direction. It was real. I'd seen it. I'd seen it in reality.
Seen what?
The mask of humanity fall from capital. It has to take it off to kill everyone, everything you love. All the hope and tenderness in the world. It has to take it off just for 1 second to do the deed. And then you see it, as it strangles and beats your friends to death. The sweetest, most courageous people in the world. You see the fear and power in its eyes. Then you know.
What?
That the bourgeois are not human.
You've lost your mind. I've always suspected the same. That's definitely enough now. Say nothing, let him finish.
I had to. I had to fight it. I had to never stop.
The old man falls silent. His black eyes keep piercing your skin as he looks to some great disturbance behind you, shaking his head slowly, retreating from it. What is this place, this island?
It's not an island, Dwight. It's a defensive fortification of the commune of Revachol. And I am its last surviving defender.
What was it used for?
The congenitally deformed King Philip II built it to restrict access to the Bay of Revachol. We captured it in '02, retrofitted the fort with an AA gun to defend against an airborne landing. Against the whole world.
You mean the landing, retaking of Revachol?
Coalition military called it Operation Deathblow. I later found out on the radio they called it Deathblow. You're one of them. Tell me, who speaks like that? We had 50 million people on Caillou alone.
First, I'm not one of them. Coalition military. Someone who's come to end this madness. Murderers, I know what you mean. Tell me something else. I'm not one of them.
Sure you are. You're RCM. Answer me. Who calls an operation against 50 million people death blow?
Coalition military.
Iblis.
Iblis?
The black-eyed angel.
He nods.
Shaitan Ahura, the darkened one.
How have you survived all this time?
How does anyone survive? I steal.
What do you steal?
Supplies, vegetables. I collect rainwater. It's the life of a dog, not a human being.
How is your health, Mr. Dross?
I've been throwing up blood since winter.
What the fuck?
Red, like beetroot. Been passing it in stool, too.
He does seem frail. Gaunt for his age. More like 75 than 65. Trouble putting on weight could mean cancer.
The RCM can provide medical services. You need to be looked over.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy guns.
We have Dramamine and other opioid-based painkillers. You must be in pain. This is a serious situation. You need to be looked over and we can do that. Do it. How have you coped mentally? Yeah, we have drugs.
I have been running out of that stuff.
A light goes on in his eyes. He smacks his dry lips. How have you coped mentally?
I haven't. I have holes in my brain. Years missing. Others filled with pain only. A decade of... I don't even know what. Inferno?
I also live in hell. I also have holes in my brain. You notice the lieutenant is about to say something.
I would imagine it gets tremendously difficult, mentally, to live in isolation.
Traitors. It's better alone. I watch the people of this city turn the lights back on more and more each year. Ruins, glimmering in the dark, like a fucking merry-go-round. It's disgusting.
He looks down at his shoes, his face parched from the sun and the wind. There's a wince of pain in there somewhere.
Are they not heartbroken? How could they have moved on?
How have you concealed yourself all these years?
It was hard in the Thames. I didn't have partisan training. They were searching for stragglers, those bloodhounds. Floodlights on the water at night.
There were posters, campaigns.
We communards still hoped, and they needed to snuff that hope out. The East capitulated. Martinaise and Coal City were turned to dust. But Jamrock, Forburg, even Coron, and Boogie Street, of course. Those fucking kips had Marsov coursing through their veins. And others too. Some cordons of Revachol was still fighting. There were cells. I tried to contact them. Soon they all went silent. The frequency's dead.
How did you get between here and the mainland?
At night,
was
I used a
thinking
dinghy.
Dinghy.
I only went after dark then. When I got to the city, I stayed underground. Patrols, you lot, the commons too. They'd started snitching.
In the city, you move underground?
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted. I just...
He falls silent, his gaze fixed on the shacks huddled together across the water. Why don't you just walk there? The weapons cache under St. Gilles near to 22B. Point to it. In the basement. Have you been there? There's a small bunker under the Feld building. Have you stayed there?
The propaganda bunker. I used to, but not anymore.
Propaganda bunker?
They stored leaflets there. Broadcasting equipment, too. Made broadcasts, I think. Propaganda officers. I buried them with their leaflets. They killed themselves. 2 young boys.
Killed themselves?
A lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them. No need to go underground anymore. It's better in the ruins, on the ground.
The weapons cache under, have you been in the basement? Have you been there?
So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Belmer graves, right?
They were. They were damaged beyond use.
I know.
So you've been there?
Sleeping. Some nights. Ammo scrounging on others. Those McGraves were shit, even before they corroded. Some had bullets in the chamber, however.
You feel the dots connecting. Little dots on the map he's walked across.
Why don't you just walk there?
I don't want to. They're all traitors. Pigs, rabbits, and dogs. Men without ideals are only animals.
He does not want to see life moving on. People forgetting, drinking, laughing.
Tell me another thing.
The old man looks across the water, at the city, the ruins, the motorways rising above it.
You said this is your termless surrender.
You're with the RCM. The coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol. A so-called Lieutenant W. Freighter.
We're not coalition appointed, we just try to help people. That's right, we're with the good guys. We enforce the law, we keep these animals from killing each other. I know what it looks like, but I have secret plans to turn the RCM into a Mazovian revolutionary unit. We're with the RCM, let's leave it at that. We enforce the law, we keep these animals from killing each other. Yeah, right.
You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International. The enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary, le Parti Communiste dans ce land. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
Rene, the royalist on the coast, said,
The Communards signed the Revacholian Instrument of Surrender.
Liberal reactionaries signed that instrument. Traitors who should have been burned alive. I answer to the Communist Party.
Is that part of why you've been here all this time? Because the party didn't surrender?
If the party had surrendered, then it would not be the party.
Honourable, that's insane. Understood.
I don't think you did. You live in a delusion. Radio shows, speed racing, and sporting goods. It's not real.
So you're a communist soldier from the communist army?
No, I am not a soldier. I am an ideological officer. I belong to the party, not the army.
But you said you were trained and assigned to the Defense Corps.
Trained in historical materialism, then assigned as a political commissar by the party. These things used to mean something.
Wait, what does a political commissar do? That means you're a trained communist, right?
He nods slowly, then another tremor.
I'm a moralist. I'm a moralist. I'm not really into politics myself.
You're inert lumpen with a gun.
Detective, we have not come here to discuss ideology.
He then turns to the old man.
We have come to ask questions regarding a murder investigation.
The old man spits into the fire pit. He does not say anything more. A jitter passes his lower body.
I have another serious question for you.
There's nothing serious in this world. It's a farce.
What have you been using this gun for?
I've used it for killing people.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I haven't done that. I've used it to kill people.
Interesting. During or after the war?
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
He shakes his head and smiles.
So he's continued killing after hostilities ended. Okay. Okay. Go in straight. No euphemisms. He doesn't like those. No. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
So you're saying you killed people after active fighting stopped? Did you use that gun to shoot and kill a colonel of the security contractor Crenell? I know you want to tell me. Have you killed anyone with that gun in the last week or two?
I don't want to tell you anything, you grotesque murderer.
And why did you think that was a good idea? Don't listen to me. I'm wrong all the time.
Did you use that gun to shoot and kill a colonel of the security contractor Crenell?
The who now?
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part. Right choice. We're in. Do it, sire.
The corpse in ceramic armor hanging behind the whirling in rags, did you shoot him? The fascist death squad who took a bullet in the mouth on the night of March 4th. His name was Ellis Courtney. He was part of a security detail here in Martinaise. A beautiful, strong man sent here by the Honourable Private Military Company Crenell. You know who I mean. The corpse in ceramic armor hanging behind the fascist death squad who took a bullet in... Oh! Don't know what to say. I'll say this.
Oh yes, that one. Ugly piece of work, that boy.
Did you kill him?
The lieutenant takes a sudden step toward him.
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
Exhaust him with proof. Pile it all on him. Get a confession. The gun. The murder weapon is the perfect opener. The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember. Something about the tracks. Suddenly, all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first.
I don't need your cooperation. I've got this. Show him the gun. We've done the ballistics. Point to the tower. The shot came from this island. Come on, what am I forgetting? Hit yourself in the side of the head. We've got the ballistics. Point to the tower.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession.
The lieutenant softens his voice.
You've been here a long time, Mr. Dras. Too long. You clearly need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascists for fascists. Done his part.
You said fascies. You're admitting you killed him? It's the best uninterrupted line of sight into that window in all of Martinaise.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
Another sudden switch, then one more in his right eye.
Almost. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments. Anything.
I don't need your cooperation, I've got this.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistols. I've seen you prance around with those. Jumping hoops for the Liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
He's talking really confidently for such a coward, for someone who ran from his duty, a deserter, yeah? He's talking very, very, a lot of posturing going on here for such a coward. Interesting.
Now, he saw you. He's watched it happen. He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. It's not just empty boasting. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
We saved a lot of them. Their leader Titus. We handled that situation. Stop changing the subject. We have the murder weapon. Point to it.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
The lieutenant looks at the weapon demonstratively. Dramatically asks, "Do you think we have the murder weapon?" I'm calling it. We have the murder weapon. Do you think we have? You think we have the? Dramatically asked.
4.46 jacketed ammunition, modified for range. We have it. This is it.
I'm calling it. We have the murder weapon.
Good.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and draws a single line. Oh, we can level up in dialogue? What the fuck? We have 2 points.
This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Murder.
The old man does not say more. He just glances into the reeds and then twitches once more.
This pushed him, but not enough. Just a little more.
Come on, what am I forgetting?
Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof.
Oh, yes.
There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. They're revolutionary symbols from the war. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now, they're gonna come up.
Of course. Thank you, Head. Thank you.
You got it. Remember, the boot prints were like no modern soul.
There were Maybells behind the victim's window. Show him the dried flower. I wonder what brand of boots you're wearing. Yeah, there were Maybells.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them.
He seems tender suddenly. Nostalgic even. A strange mood swing.
So many this year too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in Martinaise, only here. A young woman called Classy ring any bells. These dried flowers were behind her window. I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else but here.
They blossom on the islets before. We fertilize them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May, before they ruined it.
South, the Bay of Martinaise is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white flowers in white snow.
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. Do you know any secret paths? Pinball workshops?
I may.
A curious tremor passes his face. A young woman called Classy ring any bells?
Classier.
He knows her, but hadn't heard the name.
Yes, class here. You haven't heard her name, had you? You know her, right? She has intimate relations with the victim, the mercenary.
With the victim?
He turns his sight from the whitening field of flowers and falls silent. Then the muscles in his jaw twitch, a spasm.
Don't leave any loose ends. Get him on everything.
I wonder what brand of boots you're wearing.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa.
He looks at his
shit.
He looks at his running shoes covered in mud.
Show me the soles, please, Mr. Duras.
Fucking imbecile.
The old man stretches out his leg. A black and white spiral pattern covers the sole of the worn-out old running shoe on his feet.
The maker is called Sensory. You see their V-shaped logo, but can't make out the size. These are not the unusual horizontal patterned soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to be about the same size.
The size fits, but not the sole.
Wait, maybe it's simpler than that. Very high.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right
Exactly.
now.
People change shoes. It doesn't mean you weren't there, near the room the victim died in, sneaking around.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that dead fuck.
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood.
He was a rapist. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. He was a killer, but he was still under the protection of the law. He was a soldier too. He was a rapist. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it.
Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner. Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
So you killed him, so you shot him?
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
You can almost see him squeeze a tear out of his eye. His fists begin to tremble from the anger.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you. Hush. He does not need to be pushed anymore. The ball is rolling.
Just nod. Hold your breath. Hold your breath.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase, and I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth.
He begins to smile.
I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
Then what?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
Mr. Duras, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Yes.
And you were looking at them, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night? before you shot him?
The lieutenant takes out his notebook slowly, very slowly.
The old man nods.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
The motive. This is where the motive is going to come from. You can coax it out of him. The lieutenant's preparing the ground.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
Why were you looking at them that night?
I'm always looking.
He cocks his head to the side, then turns his eyes to the city. Another tremor passes his right side, lower in intensity.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
And if you don't like it?
Click.
You pull the trigger?
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
He will not stop now. These dialectical materialist types never do. Exploit it. You've got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift. Start with when he first saw him. It will give him a chance to ramble.
When did you first see the deceased? What specifically did you not like about what you saw the night of the murder? Been looking at anything else you haven't liked? Or, you know what? Composure. Assess his body language. Do we need to? You're under arrest for the murder. Okay, when did you first see the deceased?
3 weeks ago, when the rich hag came in on her galley. Her honor guard came in tow.
Joyce. He means Joyce.
Rich hag? By that you mean Joyce Messier, the Wild Pines rep?
Wrinkled up whore.
Whore. Good strong word. I use it often myself. What is it with these whores and pederasts? Aren't you a communist? Moving on, the victim arrives sometime after her. Whore. Good word. I use it often myself.
Yes. Old-fashioned.
Every woman is a whore with this guy. Moving on, the victim arrives sometime after her.
They moved into a deserted apartment above the roundabout. Radio equipment out for all to see. Reactionary radio playing, sloppy and drunk. I've seen their kind during the landing. Those Occidental and Mesk phalangs weren't conscripts. Boys like us. They were whites. All they know is to destroy and hurt.
What?
Barely alive. They like to kill while they're on their drugs. After the landing, in the burning years, I would take shots at them. End them. The worst ones, if I had a bullet to spare. I could see they've returned now to show their real face. The face they don't dare show their bourgeois voters back on Monday with their families and polyester clothes.
What specifically did you not like about what you saw that night of the murder?
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that.
So you were jealous?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore. And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
He wants to see her covered in blood.
Yep.
To punish her.
How long had you been watching her? You wanted to punish her, so you killed him. You had feelings for that woman. How long had you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinaise. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
Past the Fell building on the coast? What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
Is it that thing that we can't get, you know, in the water? What did you think she hid there?
Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut.
In the free state of Seminine, hidden away at the edge of the earth, near the Pale.
Some kind of hidden container on the coast. You looked into it?
Yes, after she'd gone. It was a submersible. Well made, actually.
Sloppy. We should have gotten her to tell us about this. Did you take the documents?
No, I put them back. Why would I take them? I'm not going to phone. Oh, I mean...
Moving on, did you continue watching her after this?
I did. She had a face like an archipelago, with those birthmarks. And a body, hard and lean and bruised all over. Black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook. On the run. Revachol's the cloaker of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook from the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I've heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
He's setting it up for you. The bruises, you can't make that out in a scope.
And you could see her bruises through the scope of a rifle?
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
Oh. How does he know those minute details about her body?
It quickly comes to you.
Ever see her through a window on a roof?
Mm-hmm. Bending like a bow against the glass.
You've been through the secret route behind the whirling rags. Those were your footprints. You just changed your shoes.
I've been through all of Martinaise. Every nook and cranny.
And that too?
Yes, that too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. Funny the way light works. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but...
Those two took the cake. You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen. A quick glance at you. One more loose end down. We're doing this, detective.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop?
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you, they think I'm an antisocial. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen? How?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope.
Andy found use for it. A spare key, like the one hanging behind the Union Box window.
You wanted to punish her, so you killed him. You had feelings for that woman. You wanted to punish her, so you killed him.
She practically breastfed that man. You wouldn't believe the things she let him do to her.
You stare at them too. In your mind, Her innocence day still turns to leaf, airport bag in hand, silks flowing in her wake.
The dream. This has got nothing to do with that. The dream.
See you tomorrow, Harry. Her voice rings in the evening air, burning.
She did deserve a good punishing. Oh my god. I hate women too, you know. I'm not like that. I don't think like that. Men are insane. Say nothing.
The old man raises his gaze. Something glimmers in the corner of his black eye. A bitter taste on his tongue.
You had feelings for that woman.
There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough. Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
There have been others. Was that why you left the dried flowers behind her window? Have there have been others?
Yes, over the years. It's not unproletarian to feel something.
Was that why you left the dried flowers behind her window?
No.
He starts to shake his head again, a sunflower on a weathered stalk. Why then?
I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of our room on the floor, like she does sometimes.
When was that?
The day after I killed him.
And you bought her Maybells?
Yes. I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
You wanted to console her. You wanted to manipulate her. Yeah. Yeah, but he's not going to admit to that. You wanted to console her.
Maybe. I told you, I have holes in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here waiting for you. If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes, then nods at you once more. One more down.
So, in conclusion, it wasn't about him, it was about her.
Her.
He repeats, staring at the ashes, then he reads. Then the reads, there's a twitch in the corner of his eye.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement. That's it. Motive. We have it.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days.
She got away, we don't know where she is. She got away, but she let us here first. She figured out someone was watching her from the seafort. Lie, we arrested her, I'm not at liberty to say. Yeah, she figured out someone was watching her.
Gone. I knew it. She kept staring into the scope this last week, at the island, like she knew. She'd look, at night, crying or smoking on the roof, staring right into me. It doesn't matter.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, the oceanic wind washes 40-story towers. Above them, Lausanne's central aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled by hybrid aircraft.
Look north.
On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still, she smiles among the crowd, among the great ghosts of the city she's leaving, for another, far south. Smaller, distant, hidden, not like the great chandelier she sees sparkle in the night below her. Streetlights, towers, tenements, and water, and across it, a dark strip of ruins, barely visible if she didn't squint her eyes. He knew she knows. She was looking at the island, figuring it out, day by day, cigarette by cigarette.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
Who knows what he's seen and done over the years? You could get more out of him. He likes talking.
Been looking at anything else you haven't liked?
A tragic comedy. Druggies, prostitutes, and rentiers.
More specifically?
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house, stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinaise is the worst.
How come?
Because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinaise. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world. Listening to race-themed radio shows. In the ruins, in their lorries. Pumped full of steroids and radio Revachol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that social democratic union and the farce of a social democrat who runs it.
Mr. Clare?
Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square, to spit on the working class.
Let him finish, do not interrupt.
Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinaise proletariat. The rest of Revachol at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruins. In tents, like animals, like those boom-boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs.
He keeps shaking his head with sorrow for the sight he missed. That's all. Nod.
The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So, actually, no. The worst is that old cop parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racists and liberals are dancing on our graves. The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins too.
I'm surprised he didn't kill him instead, you know?
Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Koyamoran, or some other island they built their palaces on, feeding on drugs and having sex with their own children.
Say nothing.
That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain, it's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex. At least that old cunt, Frisell, is now dead.
Now I have some questions about just Nod.
We did good when we pushed him under that horse car. If only, in the 30s, those disco whores.
What follows is ominous mumbling. You cannot make out a single word.
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only a nonsensical sputter.
Incel.
There was something about a statue and nihilistic advertising agency people might be worth investigating.
Disco whores.
Whores.
Even the word has to be pushed through his teeth with great force. The rage seeds too hard. There was something about the statue on the roundabout. And syphilis.
Syphilis is a disease Philippe III contracted in a whorehouse. The statue is an abomination.
Abomination?
The bacteria entered his brain and made him squander trillions on sparkling wine, cocainum, and monuments of himself. His son, Philip IV, the insane, contracted syphilis in the womb.
That is technically possible, although Philippe III was not actually syphilitic. He was just mad.
And he still went on to govern Revachol for 25 years. We lost 2 million lives toppling that mode of government. And those grotesque statues, too. Hundreds of them.
But it's still there.
What a keen remark. Yes, it is, isn't it? It's still there. Do you know why?
Because you forgot to take it down, because the king is holy and his statues are indestructible. Say, because the king is holy and his statues are indestructible, but mean it ironically. Because cynical advertising yuppies erected a deconstructed version of it. I don't know, because you forgot to take it down.
Forgot? The party had each of the 141 Philippian monuments detonated with plastic explosives. We were pedantic about carrying out the order. No. Some advertising cockroaches used their accumulated capital to erect a new, ironic version of it. Art is a bourgeois establishment. It's an affront to humanity.
I don't know. You mentioned the union is social democratic, and Mr. Clare a fast of a social democrat.
Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy. The true enemy of the proletariat. Placating the masses.
Disappointment. So personal. He displays a familiarity with the Union's top brass.
Who's a disappointment? Everett Clare?
That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass. I mean, the brains of the operation. The smart one.
Doesn't Everett run the union?
That mobster toad couldn't run a shithouse. He has no political education. His twin, Edgar Clare, that one's been to one of those East Revachol universities. He talks a big game about uprising and alienation and so on.
He's been sweet-talked by this Edgar. They must have met in person for such animosity to have developed.
We're not the first people you've met from the city, are we?
You can't live alone.
He stopped poking at the ash now, just shakes his head.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time. Nothing happens in Martinaise without them knowing.
Of course. Maybe the Clears asked him to. Don't go straight for the kill. Exhaust everything else first. Soften him up.
Have you approached them? Mr. Dross, yeah, have you approached them?
I haven't approached anyone. I've hid. It was Edgar who came to me.
How did he know you were here?
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf. He figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the island. I told you, he has brains. Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I even kept the door open for him. Thought he was a man of the left, wouldn't rat me out. I was right about one of those things.
When was this? What did you talk about? When was this?
20 years ago. Neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then.
That's around the time the Clares came to power.
What did you talk about?
Edgar did the talking. Paid his respects like I were a fossil in a uniform. Offered platitudes about the struggle. Flaunted his pink degree. Even quoted Marzoff. Never trust a social democrat who quotes Marzoff. Oh, and charity too. They love their charity. Offered me blankets and social housing. I still have the gas cooker he brought.
And he let you be here?
Let me be here? The ZOC is an unlawful successor of the commune of Revachol. We took this fortification from the Loyalists. Even the Clares understand this.
What's that got to do with you? Like, oh God. It doesn't matter. Like, he still could have, like, not let you be there.
They let him be here. Understanding was a courtesy. But why such a courtesy?
Mr. Dross, did you kill the Crenel mercenary for the Clares to incite a riot?
You know why I killed that fucker, Dwat. As to Edgar, I'm not doing anything for that swine again.
Again?
Again? What have you done for Edgar before?
Tried teaching him some Marsovian socioeconomics. They didn't stick. We parted ways.
Okay, he didn't do the hanged man for them, but he's insinuating something. There is more here. You can feel it. He was not outright lying, but almost.
What was the deal between him and Edgar? By the clock parading in his colourful uniform, you mean Renee?
Every fucking morning for 34 years. Throwing that ball. One ball against the other. I've always loathed that game. That is not a working class game. I don't care what they say on Radio June. Royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And that uniform, like a parrot plumage. I won't even mention that he's a traitor to his race. A Patank maniac race traitor.
Just nod. Now, I don't know about... Whoa, let's back off before you get too agitated. Just nod.
I remember him. I remember him from La Noce. Not him, personally. His make and model. There were tens of thousands of them. I thought we took them all out before the Liberals came to their rescue. We missed one. That one.
With his shaky finger, he points to the city toward the crater near the plaza where a lonely pine tree stands.
Fat and plump, like a pheasant, just begging to be popped off. Please, Mr. Dross, shoot me.
You'd like to kill him? Let's definitely back up. You'd like to kill him?
Not yet. I like to look at him strut around, place the crosshair on his medals, right on his face, and just fiddle the trigger. Think about it. Let the bomb melt in my mouth.
Save the treat for later?
He is a juicy bonbon, that one. A real treat for the black day, the blackest. When I put that gun in my own mouth, I think, no, don't waste it. Put this lead in that cock, Renee. For the boys he killed. And then I look at him throw those balls, and I suddenly feel better. I even hid one bullet, so I'd always have one for him. Haven't seen him around lately, strutting around. Must be down with arthritis. I hope it hurts like hell. I hope he sweats blood.
Hearing it may destabilize him. You sure you've gotten everything from him?
Renee's dead. He died of old age a couple of days ago. Bad arthritis, yes. He's not playing this week. Anyway, tell me something else, Mr. Dross. Alright, well... So if I tell him he's dead, I won't be able to get anything else from him? Anyway, tell me something else.
Yes, of course. Must be passing a kidney stone. I hope it's excruciating. At least it keeps him from throwing his balls.
He seems relieved. Could he have been worried for him?
No, he doesn't want him to be dead because he needs that. It fuels him. The hatred fuels him, you know? That's why he didn't kill him yet.
He reminds him of himself. The same hatred. The same. You try to think of another thing, but no. It's just the hatred.
Yep. I'm so glad. I didn't want to lose the chance to say this. What was the deal between him and Edgar?
The connection comes to you like a splash of cold water. Dark, cold water.
20 years ago, when you met Edgar, the Clares didn't run the Union yet, did they?
He acknowledges it. Here we go. A twist behind the dark bend.
Who did?
That bourgeois cow. Tiffin Holly was her name. Licked the rich man's hand every time he came to town. Never seen a labor leader so hot on mutual cooperation. And money. She liked that too. That Holly was a real bridge builder and a deal maker.
His eyes glistened suddenly with hatred. She was also a woman, wasn't she? Like that class G. And then she just disappeared. She was also a woman, wasn't she?
She was. And she was real soft on those money men. Had a Barbara Muscova bag over her shoulder that she liked to bring to work.
And then she just disappeared.
Called in, they say. On the eve of battle. Ran away. Vanished like a piss stain.
He squints and smiles at the black logs.
No, that's not quite it, is it?
Did she? They say her daughter called in, not her personally. But that wasn't really her daughter, was it?
No, I guess it was not.
You could swear you see the embers glow again under his eyes in the dust, on the dust. Edgar had someone make the call. Why is that, Mr. Dross?
She couldn't make the call herself.
Here it is, the bend in the river.
Why?
Because she was dead.
Just say nothing.
Say nothing.
The cow caught a bullet in her right lung. Fell into the canal grasping her tit and drowned. Or bled? Hard to say. It was a sloppy job. And a moving target. She was going home, waddling, dressed in yellow, drunk like she often was. The ruins are black around her, and she had a yellow leather bag under her arm. She tried to cross the canal, heading home to Grand Couronne or Betancourt, someplace like that, where they build those new bâtiments for the people who flourish in the hell around her, and the ruins.
You killed her. You shot her. It was you. It was you. You shot her.
Someone shot her. Or maybe the cow just fell. My memory is full of holes. All I know is nothing changed. Not in the material base, not in the hegemony. There was no uprising. Just words. The Union fizzled, sogged. Nothing came of it. Nothing.
Edgar didn't keep his part of the deal. If you were to testify to this, give the RCM something on Edgar, you could walk.
The lieutenant says in a voice even calmer, as if it were nothing at all.
We would strike everything you've done and process you as a POW. You were in a war. You were on assignment. We could even extradite you to the Samaran People's Republic.
A degenerate worker state. Goat shit. No, thank you. I'm Revacholian. My days are short. I will rot away here, in a moral intern cell. I will not testify to anything.
But you did do it. Okay, then that's that point to your head. But I know. But you did do it.
I saw it happen, and I liked it. That's all I have to say. I didn't live and fight for 40 years to end up as a collaborationist. I've heard it on Channel 8, 40 AM, Radio Revachol, late night. Everyone is a blobber in this world. Everyone betrays everyone. They're all already locked up for betrayal. The best ones, the ones with heart, were slaughtered, trampled.
The same old freezing hatred. There is plenty here to work with once he's in custody, and the lieutenant knows it. He gives you a little nod to proceed.
I'm glad we talked about this now.
Glad? It's all gone.
Oh, so that's it? We don't have anything else?
His lip curls into a sneer at the memory.
You know, about that Renee.
Yes, where is he? I hope he doesn't have debilitating arthritis. Or kidney stones. He can still come out to play with balls and get shot in the head, right?
Oh my God. He's even worried for him.
Oh, it's not. Renee's dead. He died of old age a couple of days ago.
No.
Yes.
I waited too long.
Fucking.
I waited too long and now he's dead?
The old communard looks at you, his blackberry eyes shaking in disbelief. I waited. Oh yeah, he already said that.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dross. I understand you knew him for a long time.
They're all dead now. Fuck it.
If he really wanted to kill him so bad, he would have done. There must have been 1,000 black days on these islands. His health ailing.
You had 1,000 chances to kill him.
And I blew them all. What does it matter now? He's gone. Ancient dust.
He reminded him of himself. The same hatred. The same. You try to think of something else. But no. It's just hatred.
You cared about him? I don't think so.
All human beings care about each other. I cared for seeing his head explode. Now, God damn this world.
I don't want to apologise. Are you okay, Mr. Dross, to go on?
You think I haven't seen people die? It's all I've seen them do. Fuck and die. All the other plans we had. To love. To colonize the Pale. It's all fucked.
He's not okay. This is just another black day in a row of black days. Something strange is keeping him together, making him endure.
Ayesev Lilianovich Dross, you're under arrest for the murder of Ellis Courtney.
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken all around you. Little shivers of waves appear. The lieutenant continues, like an incantation.
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand?
But...
Do you understand, sir?
No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
First, say, does it have room for 3? What? Wait. Perception. It's red. Shit, we have a lot. 28, oh my god. Alright.
You thought you heard something, but it's just the reeds.
Maybe we could all fit in there.
We could all fit in a little boat.
Actually, no.
Does it have room for 3?
Not really. We could escort him to the pier, then either one of us can take him inland while the other stays here, but...
But then, who watches him while you're coming back here?
Who watches him there while I come back for you?
You come back for me? How about I go and send a boat back for you?
What is this farce? This is a fucking farce. I can't.
Lillian, you could ask her maybe.
Maybe I can just ask that Nepika to watch him. No.
This is no harmless old man.
This fucking world. This world. What is this?
No, listen. Listen now.
You could come back for me once you've taken him to the precinct. I could come back for you once I've taken him to the precinct. You could come back for me.
No, it would take a whole day on this island. You go and transport the prisoner. I'll be here. I can escort him to the pier with you.
No need to be polite. I'll do it.
This world? What are you talking about? Is this us?
The wind is cold from the east. Your skin is crawling suddenly.
What the fuck is happening? Fuck. The phasmid.
A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by limb.
Oh
to
my
then
god.
just stand there, moving its scythe-like arms in ghostly silence.
What is that?
What are you talking about?
I don't know what the hell that is. A giant bug. Watch out.
There's nothing there.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head. You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand move to your holster to grab the gun.
There is. I see it. I've finally gone insane. Put your head in your hands.
You feel the lieutenant's hand on your back, and then you hear him say 4 words.
I can see it.
Thank God. If he can see, then you're not insane. But that means
Yeah.
it's really there,
Oh my god.
spinning slowly, in absolute silence, its limbs long and slender.
Be very, very careful.
The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It is no more than 5 steps away from you. The segmented antennae move with apprehension, searching for something that's not there. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning after the tape breaks.
What is that? Say something to the insect quietly. I can't. What is that?
I have absolutely no idea.
You hear the familiar ring of his jacket unzipping, slowly, painstakingly so.
You glance over your shoulder. The lieutenant holds a piece of milled aluminium. He begins to pull it open, extremely carefully. It's the camera. No, the flash will scare the creature off. Warn him now.
It won't like that.
We need a photo. No one will believe us.
From the corner of your eye, you see a sudden cascade of motion ripple through the insect's limbs. A series of ultrasonic clicks fills your ear.
Stop. Let me approach it first. It's not gonna. I want to do it. I don't think it'll work, but I want to do it. Let me approach it first.
I won't be one of those fools who didn't take a picture.
He's letting his pride get in the way. You see the insect turn to him, its mandible antennae reaching out. Its motions are quick, sudden.
Just listen to me.
Shh. Okay.
The lieutenant puts his finger to his lips and
The
nods.
spindly mechanism turns itself back to you, its antennae taking their measure of the air, slowly.
Say something to the insect quietly, like, don't be afraid.
Nothing changes in the cyclical braying motion of the creature's limbs. They are porcelain white on the inside and reed-colored on the out. beige, light brown, and striped. You are unsure if it is scared or not. Its insect mind is impenetrable to your reasoning.
Yeah, we can't change our clothes just quickly. Alright, we have... This won't do anything. Yeah, no, that won't do anything. It's not gonna work. Approach carefully. Yeah. Fuck. Sorry, Kim.
You barely get to take one step. The
Yeah.
invertebrate reacts with uncanny speed, skating away across the water. It's gone, like a skipping stone, leaving nothing but rings on the sea's calm mirror.
Where? Where did it go?
The lieutenant has the camera in one hand and a slip of white paper in the other, developing.
You never had a chance.
No.
There was something off the moment you approached it. It was scared of you, of humans.
No! I should have taken the pheromone from the pheromone from morale. What in the name of God was that? Where did it go? Can you see it? How did it do that? Glide. Tell me you got the picture.
He shakes his head in silence, an expression on his face that you've never seen there before.
You didn't get the picture?
No.
However hard you squint, you can't make out anything recognizable, let alone a stick insect.
I tried, but it was moving too fast, and I didn't get the ampoule in right. And damn it, I believe my eyes. It was there.
What in the name of God was that?
A stick insect of some sort, pretending to be the reeds. Has it been there the whole time? Someone must have known about it, though. Maybe there's some secret to approaching it? I have no idea. I've never heard of a species like that.
Where did it go? Can you see it?
No, it's gone for now, Lieutenant Freighter.
How did it do that? Glide?
It appears the insect can walk on water, like a water strider, you know? It's almost as fast. Uncanny.
What now?
What now?
The old man behind you repeats suddenly. He's put his hand in the ash. It's dirty
In
and
some
black.
kind of strange, semi-catatonic state.
Our suspect's not looking so good. We should check him over. Also,
He points to the reeds.
it looks like it has some kind of nest there. Maybe there's proof in there.
In the reeds, where the phasmid was hiding, you see a little flash of white. Porcelain white. Brother, you've managed to collect all the armor pieces. Too bad it's too late for the big showdown.
Don't think this helmet would have helped me anyway. Look down at your wound. At least my collector's impulse has been satisfied. I'm sure I'll have a use for this armor in the future. Don't think it would have helped me anyway.
It would have looked very impressive. Still, you found it all. Now your mortal coil is completely protected. Few cops are this futuristic.
At least now I'm truly invincible. Oh, we didn't level up. I thought for sure that getting all the armor pieces would level us up, no matter where we were on the slider, you know? Half-light. Ugh, is that it? Hey, Kim?
What is it? What do you want from me? I can't go.
Sir, how could you not see the phasmid?
See.
Mr. Dross?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets, his gap-toothed mouth shaking with fear and longing.
Snap your fingers under his nose. Wave your hand in front of his eyes. Touch his shoulder gently. Snap your fingers.
A light shiver passes him, followed by nothing. His hands are trembling, and he breathes slowly.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem, doesn't it, Mr. Dross?
The trembling mouth appears to sigh.
I don't want to leave him here unattended.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help.
Are you
It will
serious?
need to be medical first, I'm afraid.
This has happened. What has happened to this man? We found some things in the phasmid's nest, Mr. Dross. What happened to this man?
Old age and shock.
Old age and shock, yes.
The appearance of the phasmid, in conjunction with the stress of the arrest. He spent his entire life here. For him to leave would be...
We found some things in the phasmid's nest, Mr. Dross.
He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should.
I'm going to let you
A
rest.
plastic cape flaps around his face in a gust of wind. His back is slouched and his mouth open. The blacks of his eyes are receding. His pupils are returning to normal.
Hang tight.
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here. If we don't take too long.
Alright. So let's have a look at what we actually found. Oh, the bolt action caliber is the form. Yeah, oh, so this is the weapon. A common 30mm sniper scope attachable to almost any. Oh, cool. Alright. Use the boat to return to mainland. I can't believe we're just going to leave him here. Alright, well, it's not my choice, so if anything happens, it won't be my fault.
The skiff is swaying on the waves by the dock.
Let's return to the mainland.
Let's. We are done here.
He says, adjusting his glasses as he looks out over the water.
The skiff rocks
Water.
gently under your weight as you get in. The ride back is uneventful and quiet. But for the sound of conversation on the water, there is someone inland waiting for you. Two men and a woman stand on the concrete square of a nameless village, looking at a small yellow boat as it draws closer. The sea is calm. You reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
Alright. The planks creak beneath your weight. Where is
Look what the tide brought him.
Says the man without sunglasses. Suddenly his expression changes and he tilts his head.
You look like a fucking clown, Harry. Not like a funny police officer, but like a real-life, full-time, pie-in-the-face, unicycle-riding circus employee.
Whatever this is, it is completely unimportant compared to what you've just seen. This is the man with sunglasses from the Whirling in Rags. But where are his sunglasses?
Wait, you're the man with sunglasses. Forget about all this. There's a giant. No one else seems bothered by my style. Who are you people?
Hello, I'm Trent Heilerstein. I believe we've met on several occasions.
Yes.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean Vicomar, and this is your special task force. Or what's left of it. Special Consultant Trent Heilerstam, Battle Officer Judith Minot.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you off the pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi, Prison 57. We've just come from the island, where our investigation led us.
The scene is making even him feel as though he has to justify your actions.
We might need your help with something later.
As if he recalled that he's in fact a decorated police lieutenant and not a newsboy.
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Way to feed me to the wolves. No, Kim, you've got to have my back. Let's destroy them. Thank you, Lieutenant.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuhagi.
She says warmly, flashing the lieutenant the tiniest of smiles. Wait, you're the man with sunglasses.
That's right. And you're some kind of an urban scarecrow thing?
What is this about?
Ari, we want to help you. Trent, I believe this is where you come in?
This is the horse-faced woman. I don't know why you named her that, but it was beyond idiotic. You should never address her using those words again.
I haven't.
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations a little. I'm at best an enthusiast in cognitive science. My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact, I should probably get going.
No, Trant, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
What does he have to say for himself? He left you to catch the bullets. Shit kid. What an interesting moniker.
What's a shit kid?
You. Shit kid? That's you.
Despite all that you've done, the deserter, the phasmid, the case.
Despite all that I've done?
No, because of all that you've done.
How did you know I was here?
The cafeteria manager you fucked over told us where you went.
What do you mean I fucked over? After all that Sylvie stuff, he betrays me. I saved his establishment and still he betrays me. Turn to face the general direction of the whirling and yell, "Damn you, cafeteria manager, you betrayed me for the last time!" I understand. Okay, Gart told you.
And people on the street helped us too, with your whereabouts.
You're a legend among the drunks, Harry. A legendary local drunk.
You aren't the man with sunglasses at all. You're not even blonde.
Guilty as charged. I heard you'd lost your mind and your memory. I wanted to see if it was true. And it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now. There's one less person for me and everyone else to rely on.
He was too sarcastic for you to realize who he was.
Actually, I suspected something was off. Maybe if he hadn't been so sarcastic, I would have realized I knew you. I don't like being lied to. Actually, I suspected something was off.
Did you? Or did you literally not recognize my face? We've been partners for how long, Harry? Don't answer that. You don't remember.
Judging by the familiarity you feel toward him, 2 years minimum? Or maybe a short but close stint on the task force? He's right. Don't start guessing. Now's not a good time.
You nod to the female officer. I'm sorry I didn't recognize you before.
It's okay. I didn't come here to gloat or to fool you. Neither did he, actually. We're just worried.
Really? It doesn't seem like it.
That's right. Worried. I'm always worried about you. Every time you don't show up to work, or when you do about stink.
I'm better now, Jean, whatever your name is. I'm getting better. I haven't drank. I haven't done any drugs. I've been good.
You're a worry fest. She's worried about you. I'm worried about you. Even Special Consultant Backpedal is worried about you. Everyone worries instead of working.
Well, I've solved the case, so I'm working.
He's got a very, very solid case there. Actually, I've been trying to find a good moment to tell you.
You're worried too?
Yes, you often sound like a brutal idiot.
So, Trant Hiddleston turns out to be Special Consultant Trant Hiddleston.
Yes, I'm Trant Hiddleston. I never said I wasn't Trant Hiddleston.
Wait, what was up with the kid then? So what are you, Special Consulting here? So what was up with the kid then?
Mikhail? Mikhail's my son.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No problem.
So what are you Special Consulting here?
What indeed? I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s, like partial psychotraumatic amnesia, group personality theory.
He's here to see if you're insane. He is smart. Let's move on.
Duped again. No one's who they say they are. You mentioned a task force?
Yeah, Major Crimes Unit, under Lieutenant Dubois and Vicomar. Ring any bells?
Refresh my memory. Who else is in this? Yeah, totally. I get it. Major Crimes Unit.
He doesn't remember.
See? He really doesn't remember. It wasn't a sick joke. At least that's good.
Yeah, that's very good.
Where have you been all this time? There was a mercenary tribunal.
God damn it, Harry.
He shifts his weight, crosses his arms, and looks you in the eye.
You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. Fuck everything. All will burn. Detect or die.
Wait, so you let me face a squad of trained killers alone just to teach me a lesson? All will burn. Satellite Officer Visquamae. Make no mistake about it. Why didn't you detect or die then? Why would you leave a literal police god? I said all those things. I'm not like that anymore.
Yes, you're sorry. You're the sorriest cop who ever lived. Nothing has changed, Harry. I've heard this repentance shit 1,000,000 times over.
Duped again. No one's who they say they are.
Duped? Hey, here's a brilliant idea. Don't be a morbid drunk and you won't be duped so easily.
Gardner, scab leader, this... Turn to the lieutenant. Tell me at least you are who you say you were. Well, he's a pinball guy. You didn't tell us that? Okay, that does have something to do with it, yes.
No. Everyone's just a brilliant master of disguises.
None of this is ringing any bells.
The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trant, this is where you come in. How bad is it?
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors, he talks without slurring, he can drive a boat, he's standing, reasoning. All good signs, but complete retrograde amnesia, episodic and semantic.
Meaning, you forgot both who you are and the definitions of money, e-solar, pound, and so on.
As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him, and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before when Harry did not seem to know who I was. It's all very interesting.
Interesting?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socioeconomically?
Wait, socioeconomically? You think I'm so poor I lost my memory? I drank so much, I lost my memory, and I'm now slowly recovering it. I made it all up. It was a fantasy, a stupid joke. I know what I am. It might have something to do with an anomaly in the church, a 2mm hole in the world. I am a highly experimental detective. This was a method I used to solve the case. Something so sad happened to me that I couldn't be me anymore. It was a defense mechanism.
Psychotraumatic amnesia, Trant? I can go for that. Shit kid is a broken man. Always has been. Who isn't? I know I am. But you know what? I keep my shit together. Also, I know a person can't wipe their own mind, however traumatic it gets. That doesn't happen. You're lying, or insane, or both.
But Detective Vigmer, he has blanked out before.
I have.
Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. One was after the two drunks case, the other when we looked into that mural.
So you don't remember not remembering. Beautiful. The two cases in your ledger, the unsolvable case and the Next World mural, those were recent. Those cases were hard on you.
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea, yes. Practice. And then he used alcohol to get there, so to speak.
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be explained, approached as a defect? Look at the sensory input here.
He gestures toward the scenery.
Look at the ruins. The neon. Listen to the radio. The multitudes. The people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world tape, to borrow a known metaphor. Harry's been pushed flat against it. Total input. Hardwired to the free market. He just needed for it to end.
Okay, Trent, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to work in the major crimes unit? Is he a cretin now? I want to know that.
He's not a cretin, and he is able to do work. If not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective.
Leadership, now.
I'm ready to lead again. Line detective is good for now. He's wrong. I'm too far gone for work. Fuck all of you. I don't want to be in your unit. I'm ready to lead again.
No one even mentioned that. I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the body? Or do we need to get him on a disability pension?
What now?
Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here.
Really?
No. Now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to a motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry?
Hold on, in the ocean? Feign ignorance. It was stolen by Jacob. Ew. That wasn't me. It was stolen by traffic hooligans. I drove it into the ocean when I was drunk. I thought the killer would be underwater. He wasn't. The time had come to kill a sunset. I don't know what is going on here. I drove it into the ocean when I was drunk.
Ah, so refreshing. He just admits it. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for destroying 45,000 real of police property that's coming out of everyone's payslip. It
Oops.
doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
Wait, my badge? I got my badge right here. Show it to him. I lost it. What I do have is this futuristic armor. I got my badge right here.
In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic, and the badge slips out of your hand.
You're proficient in catching small objects. Come on! Yes. What? Why did it fall?
Not today, badge.
Did I get the badge? Behold, my badge. The drama is unnecessary. I got the badge. All is well.
And your gun?
He asks, unimpressed by the piece of plastic in your hand.
As if having your badge and gun are natural states, not achievements. Gun. Yeah, you don't have that. Maybe you can philosophize your way out of it. Here we go again. Lost gun, trying to terrorize you.
Gun. Wait, how did you know I lost my gun? I have a new gun now. Present Ruby's gun. I upgraded my gun to a rifle. I may have pawned it. Anyway, it's gone now. I'm on it 24/7. I'm tracking it down right now. Gun, badge, car. These are all things. Things don't matter. People do. I have a new gun now. Present Ruby's gun.
I don't care if you have a new gun. I only care about your old gun. Your official sidearm. You lost it, didn't you?
I don't have that. I don't have the sidearm. This is a great gun. Maybe it's not some kind of flashy sidearm, but still, I don't have that. I don't have the sidearm.
I knew it. I told you wouldn't have it.
This isn't cause for celebration. It's bad.
I would say it's very bad, yes. You're drunk like an asshole, Harry. Please, put the stolen firearm away before you kill someone.
I'm not drunk. I haven't started drinking again.
So you forgot to drink? I don't buy it. Why do you smell like a corpse then?
He's wounded. It's been a long week and he's handled an actual corpse.
No idea what you're smelling. I washed death off me. Yeah, I've handled an actual corpse. Yeah, it's been a bit of a week. I'm sorry, I smell bad. None of this matters. My odor situation, it's meaningless compared to what I've discovered. Yeah, it's been a bit of a week. I'm sorry, I smell bad.
A bit of a week? You're drunk, and you let a suspect escape, a certain Clasier, because you were too drunk to assess a flight risk.
We've read the report, Sari. Lieutenant Kitsuragis. We know.
Classy, she was some kind of spy from the Occident, specifically trained. Not taking her in was the right thing to do. She gave a vital clue that led us to the island. Okay, I got duped there. She pulled one on me. Yes, I let her go as an act of mercy. That's just a small detail in a huge case you know nothing about. Not taking her in was the right thing to do. She gave a vital clue.
Oh, well, if she was nice. I'm not even gonna get into the other suspect, the one who shot herself in the head. Or the fact that you very likely sold your gun for booze. That's peanuts. That's nothing. That's a humorous anecdote. Compared to the 6 people who were gunned down, the streets are literally red with blood, Harry. It was fucking mass murder.
Yeah, and if you were with me, it wouldn't have probably been 6 people.
He did everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired unvetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals. He did so at considerable risk to his person. Remember, he was shot. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been.
Yes, what he said. I also solved the case. It's solved, all of it. Yeah, it was a massacre. We got wiped. Where the hell were you? The firefight was a trivial matter compared to... Yeah, it was a massacre. Where the hell were you?
Don't make this harder for yourself.
Oh.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation.
He brushes a stray strand of hair out of his eye and coughs.
He thinks of apologizing, but decides against it.
You've spent the week with him on this case. What is your take?
On the case?
On Lieutenant Yefretor Dubois.
Well, the drinking, the gun losing, also losing the badge. That's all true. Although he has not been drinking on the job this week.
See?
1 week.
Then there's the self-flagellation issue. He likes to apologize, profusely, making it sound like he's guilty of at least first-degree murder. It's not a good communication strategy for an officer. It's...
Well, what the fuck else am I supposed to do? I literally fucking, terrorized people, you know? Fucking threatened to shoot myself in front of everyone. What am I gonna do? Not say sorry? I can go on and describe everything else we've done that we've had to apologize for, but my mind is going blank right now. But, we've done some pretty fucked up shit. I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna admit when I'm wrong. Sorry.
It's just strange, especially in light of his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a true blue moralist. He recently attempted to contact a coalition warship in order to assign la responsabilité, which is commendable, but also at odds with his own behavior. And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, something I was not present.
It's called nuance, Kim.
But despite all this, he is a great detective, one of the best I have seen, in fact. He can talk human beings into telling him everything, and he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped pursuing leads, however far-fetched and tangential. He is tireless, madly driven.
Kim, he's gonna make me cry.
And he solved it, near perfectly. In 1 week we have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator. Locked on the island right now, awaiting transportation. He apprehended a revolutionary brigade who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years. Oh, and he also discovered a new species.
A new species?
A colossal stick insect, 3 meters tall. It's on the island, camouflage as the reeds. It unfolded from them. I did not, unfortunately, get a photo, but I believe it may have been the Insulindian phasmid. I know this sounds fantastic, but I'm a 4 times decorated lieutenant of the RCM. I do not make up encounters with cryptids to spice up my day. I am very, very sane.
I don't doubt you, Lieutenant. If you say it was the Insulindian phasmid, then it was the Insulindian phasmid.
Boom shakalaka laka. Why would we fucking say that? It's incredible, but it was real. So, as you can see, I'm a pretty okay detective. Say nothing.
By God, is it somehow connected to the case?
The killer did not seem to be aware of the phasmid's presence. Exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia, he fell into a stupor after its appearance. He became near catatonic.
Yes, the phasmid may have contributed to his mental state in some way over the years. It's probably not connected per se, but the perpetrator knew of its existence. It may have contributed to...
So it is connected.
We could order a search. I could get people from EPIS on the island, entomologists, doctors. There must be signs of it in the reeds. If we found the Insulindian phasmid, well, that would be absolutely exceptional. The PR value alone.
There, you need to make your case now. The floor is all yours. He prepared it well.
I also started a nightclub in the church. Also, the phasmid was female. The reeds are its nest. The killer, Lila Vonovich Dross, we have a strong motive for him. The previous head of the Debuadius Union was assassinated by our killer. There was also a dead man on the boardwalk, a missing person I found. I also looked into the mystery of the Medum commercial area. So what do you say? I want to take this hot shit back. The killer, we have a strong motive for him.
Lilianovich. A revolutionary matronym.
A revolutionary matronym? I don't have time for this. Straight to the motive, please. A revolutionary matronym?
The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms. Krasovich, Larsovich, etc. The revolutionaries saw this as a chauvinist atavism, so they used matronyms, derived from the mother's name instead. This man's mother was Lilian. His Lilian's son, Lilianovich. The custom was overturned after the revolution failed, but not before it made it to Revachol.
So, it is what a soldier of the ICM would be called.
Thank you, Trant. Thank you for that piece of cultural theory. You said you have a motive?
Of course, excuse me, I just thought it was noteworthy.
He wasn't quite sure about the straggler before he heard this detail. It must have convinced him.
He killed the mercenary in an act of jealousy. He killed the mercenary hoping to start a war between the company and the union. Actually, I'm not that sure. He killed in an act of jealousy.
Jealousy? I thought this Lilianovich was an old man. To have been hiding for 50 years. Like 70-something.
A strange psychosexual fascination. The result of
Fascination.
spending all this time in solitude on the islands of this bay. And trauma too. He himself gave a political reason. In his mind, he had killed an enemy combatant. Also, we have ballistics from the gun, matching the bullet found in the dead mercenary's head, and 2 officers on the scene that Mr. Dross confessed to.
It's a clean win.
Oh, it's way more than that. Way more.
It's more than that. A perfect folding mechanism like the phasmid. It's way more than that. I'll win her back with this. It's my masterpiece. They'll teach this in cop school. I did all I could. Every second was a struggle. I'm still not completely satisfied with it. It could be just a little neater. I did all I could. Every second was a struggle.
I've never doubted you can pull yourself together and work. In bouts. Bouts don't last. I can still smell the booze on the wind.
God damn it. Doesn't it ever leave? It is there, like in your bones or something. It will pass in time.
There was also a dead man on the boardwalk, a missing person I found.
Yes. Fallen through a gap in a boardwalk. Drunk.
How did you know I found him?
The body was transported to Precinct 41, our morgue. I had Tilbrook and Mullins take care of funeral arrangements and family stuff.
You're not the only cop in the world, Harry. This all comes back to us.
Still, good work with the missing person, Detective.
It's still a point for you. No denying it.
The previous head of the Debuadius Union was assassinated by our killer, but he said that he didn't do it.
This is a conversation for when we are no longer out in the open. In Martinaise, where Evrard and Edgar Clare have ears everywhere.
The lieutenant lowers his voice just a little.
Understood, of course.
But a case against Everard would be big.
I would prefer not
Edgar.
to partake in anything union-related, for political neutrality.
This has to be good stuff for him to backpedal out of it at first mention.
Also, the phasmid was female. The reeds are its nest.
Female? What makes you think so?
You had to see it. It had the subdued colors of a female. And the nesting behavior too, I think.
Incredible. Were there eggs in the nest?
Not as far as I could see. There were other things there, though.
It had gathered items in its nest, a helmet and a scope.
Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a male. This is far from anything in my field, but I think such nests are called bowers. They are for attracting mates.
I still think it was female. It could have been male, actually. I still think it was female.
Of course, as I said, I'm only guessing. I didn't see it. It must be robust if it can move a whole helmet with its limbs.
It had mandibles that looked like hair, and it was completely white on the inside.
Yes, but also reed-colored, beige and brown, a little green on the outside. After unfolding from a single stalk, it still retained parts that looked like reed tufts on its limbs.
Incredible. It's a toughie that you don't have a photo. This would look very, very flashy in the papers. None of it says vigilante murderers to me at all. Great PR.
I tried to, but I only got a blur.
Ouch.
We can still work. Cop discovers new species in there. I know a good guy in La Majesté, but only after the École Supérieure people find it. This cannot be done by French people.
God, what's his name? Morale is gonna be so upset.
It needs to be white coats and glassware for this fly. We need professionals.
You're doing good here. Perhaps only for a moment, but still. Quit while you're ahead? Or no?
I mean, I don't think they'll care about that. Oh my god. Maybe I should just stop now. Oh my god. Alright, I'm just gonna have it all. I also started a nightclub in the church.
What was that? It sounded like you set up a nightclub in the church.
Yeah, I reinvigorated the local nightlife. Yeah, I did some kids a solid, turned their lives around. Yeah, and I discovered a hetero unexplored entry per phenomenon in there too. Yeah, a 2mm, yeah, I'll say that. A 2mm hole in the world.
That's great. Entrepreneurship is a great new career for you. After police officer. I don't care. Go live in the Vale.
4 kids were living in a tent on the ice. They were going to drown when it melted. It's not optimal, but the building was abandoned, so he put them in there. It's okay.
It's not that okay. Get off this subject now.
I also looked into the mystery of the Doom commercial area.
I don't know what a Doom commercial area is.
Rue du Saint Gillency 10, a commercial building where all businesses go bankrupt. I looked into it. Nothing, it's not important.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't sound too important, since it's not connected to the case or a giant living organism.
I thought, I did want to say I helped these kids out, but then I thought maybe if I discovered something else, they'll be just as impressed as the phasmid, but no. So, what do you say? Want to take this hot shot back?
I don't want to, but you discovered a new species and solved the murder. So I have to. Jude?
Anything that ends the trial is okay with me.
Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to let go.
Okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody. Let's go.
Now you will finally get to know who you are.
Wait, I have a few questions before we go about who I am.
The man looks westward, impatiently, jingling his car keys in his pocket.
Who am I?
Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Harry.
What?
Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore, but
But before?
Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coron. It's getting really cold outside. Should we maybe...
That does explain a lot.
Harry, it explains everything. The running around, the jumping, the bicep girth, your inexplicable facial hair.
The collection of failing sportswear of a math.
Some of your more old-school wording choices. Your posture, even. The constant stretches.
God, even this javelin-throwing freak here.
Oh God, contact Mike.
Of course. Contact Mike.
He's been on about Mike again. I hate that guy.
Contact Mike is a reprise of the most inspiring basic sporting principle of open competition. A 5,001 rank outsider. 5,000 to 1 rank outsider. What was this? When was I a gym teacher? You said in Kuron I was a gym teacher there? Why did I join the RCM that I was a gym teacher there?
Yes, you taught gym in Kuron. I believe that's the term. Taught gym at a high school. You were a high school gym teacher.
The smell of sweat and glue. The worn floorboards. Kuron is just east of Jamrock. It was a short walk every morning to the baseball field or the sports building.
Yeah, like that dumbbell that we saw as well at the Doom commercial area when we were just about to enter. Like our fascination with it and how it triggered something.
High school. Harry, your goings-on with Kuno, Andre, Acel, the whole thing on the ice. That's why you are so juvie.
His smirk suggests barely contained laughter.
When was this? When was I a gym teacher?
In your 20s or late 20s. You've really let yourself go since then.
Why did I join the RCM then?
The regular. You found some chick. She inspired you to fight the big fight. Be more than you are. All that.
You, every morning, walking from Voyager Road to teach gym. She, leaving for the academy with her spring coat on. The air filled with the smell of smoke and raspberries and incredible hope. An ocean full of hope.
Let's say this.
Oh, you don't say. Does he also vault an impassable gulf of finance and privilege?
It is getting cold out.
She looks around at the dilapidated fishing village. Okay, I see now.
I knew it. I knew no normal human being can run like that. He's an honest-to-God gym teacher.
Why am I like this?
It's not a mystery. Some chick fucked you over. Also, you were drunk.
Some chick? Who?
Dora something. Dora England. Yeah, you mentioned her name.
Not Dora Dubois.
Wait, Dora England? Wait, so we weren't even married?
No one is married anymore. This is Revachol.
When was this?
God, I don't know. 6 years ago? She was way before my time.
Oh, okay.
6 years and you haven't gotten over it. What the hell is wrong with you?
6 years? Oh, okay. 6 years is not that much. It couldn't have been 6 years. 3? Let's go with 3. 6 years?
Yeah. Or 7. You're not doing too good there. It's an old man thing. 2 old years equals 1 normal year. That and Dora England really tore you a new one. A big one.
Who was she?
Incredibly bangable.
Huh? Figures. Figures.
Extremely fuckable, Harry. Gorgeous. A gorgeous bourgeois woman. Wayfish. Like a Welkin, basically.
Snow Welkin. Blonde Welkin. Heartbreak Welkin.
I've only seen a picture, but it's obvious you formed a real spiritual connection with how pretty she was. One you never recuperated from.
Look, the sun is going down. It's time to go home.
I think she taught in the Académie des Arts, east of the river. Way east. Hard to say which came first, the middle-class chick or the drink. Egg and the chicken kind of thing. My point is, you need to see a psychiatrist about this shit. Not a psychologist. Several degrees order. Is there something harder than a psychiatrist? A forensic psychiatrist? Go talk to that.
In other words, he's heard enough about this.
Okay, am I a dirty cop working for La Puta Madre?
No.
No, because the suspect seemed to think... Okay then.
Talks concluded.
Precinct 41, what kind of station is it?
Us? We're the bloody murder station, haven't you heard? We're the bad guys. No one likes us.
Why?
That's not true. Jamrock is too big for one precinct. You are just understaffed, and everyone respects the 41st. You have Captain Price.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You're being kind. It is an understaffed station and the district is too big, which is why we need to...
He tilts his head northward.
Get back to it. We left Torson and McLean to run the Sea Wing. It's not good.
Torson and McLean?
Mac the Torso Torson and Chester McLean. They're not fit to run a wing. Believe me. Things are shaky as it is.
They are damn iconic though, Torson and McLean.
An iconic duo, I take it.
Yeah, not like us. Two clinically depressed old men. Where's the contrast here? We are garbage.
And the Sea Wing is...
God. There are 4 wings, Harry. A, B, C, and D. We're in C. It's made of losers and clock punchers. You and I reconceptualized it as a task force. It was a mistake.
Why?
There's also a lot of outside help involved, not only me. Other losers too.
He's anything but a loser, although he would like to be seen as one. It's cooler that way.
And Price is...
Ptolemy Price? He's the son of the old Price, one of the founders of the RCM.
He's one of the most highly regarded men in the force. You're lucky.
Somewhere under the curved roof of a former silk factory, shaped like a ladybird with 2 chimneys, Police Captain Ptolemy Price sits behind a heavy wooden desk. Resident medic Nix Gottlieb pours him coffee. It's silent in the captain's office. They speak of change, the city, the tension on the streets. They speak of the events of April and the blood on the streets in May.
Did we recently shoot up a church by any chance?
So he remembers that. Yes, there may have been a raid on some churches. It wasn't good press.
Shooting up churches never is. I was out of town, to be clear.
What happened? Why did we need to go there?
Our enemies were hiding in a church, to the best of our information. That's it. I'm not talking about this anymore. Your security clearance is shit tier right now. You have to wait for it to go up.
He means it. The RCM and its enemies will not be discussed on this coast. Your clearance will not go up while you're within earshot of the Union headquarters.
So I work in the bloody murder station.
Okay, it's not the bloody murder station. It's an old converted silk mill with green desk lamps and a coffee corner. A lot of good people work there, hard, every day.
Jamrock is the largest ghetto in Revachol. Faubourg, technically, but it's divided into 11 districts. Jamrock only has us.
The press will blow over. Jamrock is lucky to have you, and it's often considered to be the greatest of the districts. You're lucky to have it.
Thank you again, Lieutenant.
Lieutenant. The Phasmid, I need to tell Lena about this ASAP.
Who is Lena?
A cryptozoologist. She lives in Jamrock. She told me about this Phasmid.
Well, good luck finding her once we get back.
She and her husband were conducting the search for the Phasmid. It's their discovery, in part. I'm sure we'll find them. They should know as soon as possible, even if we didn't get a photo.
She is going to be over the moon.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi, what will you do now?
Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It will have to be good to cover all these. Then I will have a serious talk with my captain.
About what?
Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol.
He pulls up his collar and looks around, the cold spring light reflected in the lenses of his glasses.
I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready, infiltrate, investigate.
Want to do that at Station 41?
Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of 2 captains with my doom-mongering.
No, I meant investigate. Come work at Precinct 41.
Work with Price? I'm flattered, but I don't know if I...
Would fit in. Am crazy enough. Can take the stress. He doesn't know how to finish the sentence. This truly came as a surprise to him. Not a bad one, but he's at a loss.
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even considered.
Aww.
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the harbor.
The lieutenant turns very serious all of a sudden.
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need to get back to. Mountains, even.
I do like the sound of that.
He returns her smile.
He's really considering it.
Of course he is. I'm ready.
Good.
She looks at you, then Visquama.
Fuck it, let's go. Tron brought his motor carriage. It's a 20-minute drive to Jamrock.
Under the evening sky, the great district turns on its lights. A chessboard of wooden houses, 80,000 living souls inside. Fire traps as far as the eye can see, from Main Street to Precinct 41 atop the motorway, to Boogie Street forking into the dark horizon. You close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window, dreaming of meteorite strikes. On Rue de Saint-Jérôme, a square bullet slides into a square-shaped chamber. In Old South, a man without eyelids smiles. Spring has come. It's time. Torsen? Yes. McLean? Yes. Heidelstein? No. Vicmere? Yes. Dubois? Of course. Really? Nix Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing. Captain Potomny Price gestures with a ballpoint pen. It's dim in the office, and the curtains are drawn. Harry's our man. He'll pull through. When he does, he'll side with the RCM. Understood. Gottlieb returns to the list. Minot? Of course.
Wonderful. Then can we please just go back to Jamrock now?
Aww. Aww. I really, really liked that. That was such a good game. That really ended on like a note of a possible sequel, which from what I know or have heard, it's kind of unlikely that there will be a sequel. I don't know the details of the studio or what's happening because I don't like to look too much into these things in fear of possible spoilers or anything like that. But that was a really good game, very impactful, very emotional. It really, it touches so much on the human experience, obviously, you know, I mean, that one would clearly argue that that is what the game is about, fundamentally, you know, about that, you know. I did also have a moment when we were having our dream about, you know, with the ex-wife, and she was mentioning, you know, the certain things like the video store, my mind went to when we called the video store to ask about, you know, Billy's partner. When the apricot was mentioned, my mind went to that wrapper that we found in our pocket, smell like apricot. I had a thought that, is this not real? Have we just drank ourselves to such an extent? Are we just like a bum like on the side of the road, and this is all just some sort of fever dream? Or my mind did go to that. I'm very happy that, I mean, that I'm not saying that would have been bad if that were the case, but it would have, I'm glad that it wasn't, that it was all real. Yeah, a really, really good game. It could have been a lot longer as well, a lot longer, if I did accept a lot of the other copper types. I only accepted one, being the moralist one, because I was worried that it was going to affect my character in a way, because I really wanted to make this character as true to my values, my thoughts, my ideas, which is how I generally play games like this. It's more impactful for me in that way. It's more personal, you know? I would say that was a good ending. That was a really good ending. When the, oh God, I can't remember his name, our previous partner came, and he was very angry, you know, which is understandable, you know, how can he not be? He's heard it all before. He's probably gone through a lot of shit dealing with Harry, but it kind of, it was very, it's like, wow, like I took it as an act of love, you know, like, maybe he was tasked to come in and bring us in, you know, from his superiors, but, you know, it was really touching, you know, and I'm really, really happy with that ending. We did good. I think we did well. Case was solved, which I was worried about. Like, well, are we even going to be able to solve this case? I was going to say there was a moment of just deep, like, oh my God, we're really in the shit now. What am I going to do? Which I love it when it coincides with what the character is feeling too, because Harry was very down in the dumps at that point, you know? And I love it when I feel that as well with my character. It's just so impactful. Such a well-made game. Just I can't recall of, because these RPG games, they're my thing, you know. I love these types of games. I can't recall of a game that has this many, that has this level of customization, and because I can tell just by the dialogue trees that you can go to vastly different areas of the story, depending on what you pick, and also the coppo types, and just, it's such a big game, and I can see definitely playing it vastly different than what I did in many multiple ways, you know. The music's just so good, so beautiful, so well acted, and it made me feel. It made me feel a lot, which to me is the best thing a game can do. Really make me feel. Yeah, I really liked it. All the characters, no matter how minor they seemed, they were given, I don't know if respect is the correct word I'm looking for, but they were given respect in the way that, like, they weren't just meaningless. They felt like people. They were fleshed out. They were very fleshed out, even if they were meaningless characters in regards to our case and our story. It was just so good. It was just really good. I really liked it. It was funny. It was very funny. It was very thought-provoking. It was very emotional on a visceral level too. At some points, just the music alone. I am very sensitive to music. Music, like a lot of people, I would think, it brings out a lot. Especially those dream sequences. They were just on another level. And oh, especially that last one. Yeah, I think it really hits on the main themes of this game. You know, the loss, grieving, the human experience, everything. I just love it. I think this game is so relatable to just on many levels, on a personal level, on even just living in society. Can't stop. I don't know what else to say. It was such a good game. I'm so happy that I played it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you saw something different in the way that I played it. Yeah, let me know what you thought, and yeah, if you did see anything different. And thank you again for watching, and I will see you for the next one. Bye.